you could have company. You could have somebody come over and they have an Android device and you don't have a charger, but this cable has it on there. You have USB-C, you have Lightning. This is like I bought 8 of these and they're all over the house. And so you can pretty much charge anything anywhere.
Well,
And all it does is,
I keep a couple of those in my car because you never know who you're going to be traveling. Well, when you go with people in the car, they might have an Android. I kind of sometimes allow that, and then from that. So.
yep. Yeah. So really useful. And all you have to do is replace your white Apple Lightning cable, the one you currently have. All you have to do is replace that with this. And now instead of just the one Lightning tip that Apple gives you, you have 4 and could pretty much charge anything. So that battery you bought, you could charge it here. If you bought a Wise Cam, you could power it here. There's just a lot of versatility with these cables because all the electronics nowadays pretty much take the same amount of, it's low voltage. So you'd be surprised at how many things easily charge or are easily powered with a cable like this.
Are the USB-C 25 watts or 5 watts like the old Lightnings?
Oh, the USB for the iPhone, for the 11?
I'm talking about like my iPad.
Yeah, that's I don't know watts. It's 2.4 amps is the old iPad. USB-C for the iPhone the amperage is much higher than that. I think it's around 5.
Okay, thank you.
And by the way, that brings up a point. You can always charge your iPhone with the iPad charger and it will charge twice as fast. And yes, you can do USB-C too. It will charge it much faster. So without further ado, we all know and we like it. Got to tell you, it's really hard to present when people can't give any feedback. Randy, do you have a quick one? Go ahead.
Sometimes, Ken, on my iPhone 11 Pro, it splits like a half screen. I can't do it now, but what does it mean when like the screen goes half, like it's blank, and the rest of the app is down here? I can't get it to do it now, of course, but sometimes it's like the whole top half is blank.
Pete, are you able to handle that?
Is that the pull down? Where it moves down?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a feature that Apple built in because if you were operating the phone one-handed and when they made the larger phones, the screen was too big for you to be able to reach the top. Mm-hmm. So they made this shortcut where it would bring the top of the screen down so your thumb could reach it and then it would pop back up after you're done.
For people to do one-handed operation, the whole idea was the throw of your thumb is what it was.
Okay.
But I turned that off for the very reason you mentioned, is because when it happens, when it fires unexpectedly, then it's annoying.
How do I turn it off?
I'll look that up and let you know at the end.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
All right. So Pete, great to have you again. I love your backdrop. Actually, your screensaver earlier was pretty cool behind there, but he is the Zoom professional here and he does this for a living. So, oh God, you got all those things just on a switch there. He's got 5 helpers in the background doing this, and Good Morning America has nothing on him.
Yeah. My producers are all behind me. Well, thank you, Ken, for the introduction. And I've opened 100% of my my Hangouts like this with this same statement. I'll do it again. This is my favorite group to get in front of and be able to hang with and talk to. You won't find a more diverse and like levels of deep thought and intelligence and conversation. I mean, it's just so much good stuff to be had here in this group. So I'm really grateful that I've been asked to be a part of it again. And really, you guys, many of you know me over the past 15 years, going on 20 now. I've been part of this community in various different capacities. But one thing I'll say, over the past decade, it's become more and more difficult to pick a topic to speak on, only because only because it used to be very easy. We were MacNexus, or which side? I'm like the weatherman over here. We were MacNexus, and that you probably meant you were a Mac enthusiast. And there was a day when we just had Macs. There were laptops and desktops, but there were just Macs. And then the phone came along, and then iPads, and then Mac OS and iOS started to get really close together. And now with iOS 14 launching and Big Sur, Mac OS Big Sur launching, I think we're going to see more similarity than ever. So it's really tough to figure out what to teach on because things got really easy. I think, in my opinion, when touch interface started to sort of merge with a standard keyboard mouse interface, things had to get easier. There was no other way to make it happen. You had to reduce complexity, you had to reduce interface elements, and you had to make it just really simple to get in and get what you want. So there's a lot of things that are super simple now, or that appear to me to be super simple. So it's tough because Ken and I might brainstorm about, well, what topic should we teach, or what should we bring up? And a lot of times it's, well, there's this, but, and there's that, but, there's just all these things that are a little bit more difficult in today's world to teach or have a discussion about, because somebody might be on an iPad and another might be on a Mac. So there are a lot of challenges with the evolution we've seen in today's world. But tonight, and the past couple of topics you'll notice aren't necessarily platform specific. We did Pete's top 10 useful websites, and that wasn't platform specific. You could access those sites on any device, Mac or Windows. And today was another decision like that, sort of. It was not platform specific, this decision to speak today about online communities like Reddit and Twitter. But the reason I chose this topic is because it's probably the number one question that I get from clients and friends and family. And that is usually a comment about, well, I don't get Reddit, or I don't get Twitter, or I've heard about it, I've downloaded it, I've opened it, I didn't find any use for it, and so I don't use it. But communities like Reddit, Twitter, there's one called 4chan out there that I'll leave it alone because it's a sort of like a gateway to the dark web. I mean, there's weird stuff going on over there, but the more mainstream Reddit and Twitter, whether you use them or not, have changed the world in the past 5 years. Like, it's my opinion that the things that are going on today could not have been made possible without a platform like Twitter, because people need mass communication to strategize on these big sweeping activities that are taking place in the streets and stuff. So not only has, try not to be political about this, but not only has has Twitter provided a way to level the playing field when it comes to mainstream media and, enemies of the mainstream media, right? Enemies of the mainstream media now get a platform and a voice that they can speak out, and the mainstream media doesn't get to dominate the conversation anymore. So, like it or not, things like Twitter and Reddit have changed our world over the past 5 years. What I want to do is talk about the fun parts of those things, and also give you some, what I consider, compelling reasons why you would probably want to check in with Reddit or Twitter for various reasons. So I think what we'll do is kind of a half and half. We'll start out with Reddit. Hopefully I won't go too long on Reddit, and then we'll go over to Twitter and we'll talk about Twitter. And I'm informal. You all know me. I'm informal. I'm an informal presenter. So while I may not see the Zoom interface and what's going on there, please feel free, Ken, if you see a hand up or if anybody has a question, get my attention so we can pause. And if the question's not timely, I'll push it to the end, but I like to hear from you. I like to hear what you're thinking and that sort of thing as we go through this. So
Again, you can use the raise hand or put something in the chat and I'll monitor that, and then we'll try to get you to Pete if you have any questions.
Perfect. So I want to start by saying that, well, we're going to start with Reddit. And I want to start by saying I access Reddit probably 99% from my mobile device. I don't use the desktop browser only because I'm just accustomed to the mobile site. Well, we're going to use the browser today. I'll show you the mobile site also, but we're going to use the browser today because that's probably how you'll access Reddit, is via a desktop web browser, until you're comfortable enough with it to just pick up your mobile device and go that way. What I'll do is I just want to go to the Reddit homepage and just start there. And I'll share my screen and just talk a little bit about what we're seeing and why it matters. Here, let me see. Is this what we want here? We'll go like right there. So here we are on the Reddit homepage. Please ignore all the tabs across the top. Those are just things that I currently have open for either work or whatever. By the way, one of the nice things about a Nest Cam, for those of you who have asked, many people have asked me about HomeKit or automated, cams and stuff. The nice thing about the Nest Cam is you can pull it up on your web browser and view it. So my front door camera is always open in a tab, and if I hear a doorbell or a knock, I can just pull it up and see if it's something that needs my attention. But that's a recommended use if you're a Nest customer. I'm converting, by the way, from Nest to Logitech, because Logitech just released a new device called the Circle, and the Circle is built for Apple's HomeKit. So if you're a HomeKit person, I highly recommend the Logitech Circle. It's about $150. But if you're not, then there's the Nest. So here's the front page of Reddit. Now, Reddit, like many other online communities, see if I can attempt to hide this. We don't need this here, so I'll just minimize that. Like many other online communities, Reddit is going to be what you make of it. Your feed, when you open Reddit, will look very different than mine, because it's based on whatever communities you've chosen to join. So just trying to take it slow and pause there for a minute. When you open Reddit, it's basically an aggregate of the communities you've chosen to join. Now, the thing I love about Reddit, as opposed to things like Facebook or Instagram, is Reddit is a place where you can be completely anonymous if you choose to. You could also use a username that is more specific. So if you, I'll enlarge this interface a little bit so we can look up in the upper right-hand corner here, but my Reddit username is my full name, Pete Lozzi. I don't recommend that as your only account. I recommend that you have one that's anonymous and one that is your name, or if you only want one, if you're only going to have one, I would just have an anonymous one. Only because Reddit is an easy place to, I don't know, get into a little kerfluffle, if you will. There may be times when you want to argue or have an opposing point of view, and in today's weird world, if you put your full name on Reddit, somebody could probably research and find out more info about you. So my first caution is, I've been a Redditor for I think 11 years now. Let me see, let me pull down open my profile here. 2008. So 12 years I've been on Reddit. And I have what they call a karma score here. I'll talk about that in a moment. So yeah, for 12 years, I have had Pete Lozzi as my username. You can have a headline under your profile as well. So my username is Pete Lozzi. That's what I created it as. It is not changeable later. So once you do create your username on Reddit, it is permanent. You can put like sort of a caption under your image. So I put superfluous hyperbole under mine, but you could put whatever you want there too. So again, my recommendation for those who are new to Reddit is go ahead and create an account, but in the username part of your account, I don't recommend putting anything that could identify you. What I've done is I have a second Reddit account that I can switch to, and that will allow me to go anonymous if I need to. So far in my 12 years on Reddit, I've been a good citizen, good member of the community. I've only had one weird incident where I disagreed with somebody about a topic on 3D modeling of all things, and they sent me a private message and asked me if my address was 408 Brookdale Court in Vacaville, California. And it was. And I said, yes. What did that prove? You know how to use Google? So I did have a moment like that. So again, word of caution, create your Reddit user account and keep it anonymous. Oh, what was that? Somebody speaking?
Luckily, you've moved.
Yes. Luckily, since then I've moved. Or not luckily or whatever. I mean, I still lived there for about a year after that person did that, and nothing ever came of it, but you know. So be anonymous with your username when you create one. If you've already created a Reddit account and you didn't know that at the time, you could just create another one. There's a really easy way to switch between them too. So you don't have to sort of log all the way out and log all the way back in when you want to switch. You can just select from a pull down menu. Some other things worth noting here, I'm just looking at my account, and some other things worth noting here are that you have a karma score, and your karma score is all about your behavior in the community. So people with positive karma scores or high karma scores, that means that they're making a contribution to the community that has been appreciated by others. Those with low or no karma score either means that there is no contribution. Now, your karma score would be 0 if you're just what they call a lurker. You're just looking around and not really interacting. Or you are not a good citizen, that you're incendiary and your remarks are maybe offensive or uncalled for. Then you'll have a low karma rating. So karma is meaningless in the grand scheme of things, right? It really means nothing. But if you were curious about somebody's reputation on Reddit and you looked at their karma score and it was bad, it's a good indicator that there might be something wrong there. Or if you looked at their karma score and it was great, again, that's a good indicator that this person might be a good member of the community who's looking to make a positive contribution. Something to think about though. And followers it's kind of a weird thing. With Reddit, one of the things I love about Reddit is you don't really have followers. You don't have a bunch of people looking at your timeline or checking in on you. What you're doing is you're being a member of a community with Reddit, and you're relatively anonymous. Now, I have 3 followers. That means in the 12 years I've been on Reddit, 3 people have appreciated what I post to the extent that they want to see every time I post something new. So they became a follower. You would do the same thing. If you found somebody and you really appreciated the stuff they were posting, you would say, I want to follow this person because I want to get notified when they post something. But there's no friends on Reddit. Like there's no, as you can see, there's no, I don't have a friend list. I don't have to connect with people. I don't have people wishing me happy birthday on Reddit. I don't have, well, Reddit wishes you happy birthday on your cake day, which is the day you signed up. So you get that. But it's very unlike Facebook or Instagram, where you're not keeping up with the people around you and looking at pictures of their niece's graduation ceremony or the craft that they did last night. It isn't about that. It isn't a social media network. This community is breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. If you're not, after this meeting tonight, if you don't go on Reddit and poke around at some of the things that you are interested in, and if you don't go look at the community of the place, of the thing you're interested in, and you don't find something that you appreciate, or if you don't make a contribution, you're really missing out, because Reddit has a ton to offer for everybody. And it has a ton of people who need your help. You're probably an expert in something. Is that gardening? Or is it automobile restoration? Is it model trains? You're probably good at something. Well, there's a whole community of people who are just starting out or that need help, that need questions answered. So there really is a lot for you to gain, and a lot for you to be able to give as an expert in whatever it is you're an expert in. Maybe you're not even an expert, but you want to build a new headboard and you're not sure how to fasten one piece of lumber to another. Well, I go on the construction subreddit and I ask the question, and in very short order, the question's answered, usually with a long post, maybe pictures, really in-depth answer. So lots of cool things about the Reddit community and your expertise, particularly whatever that might be, combined with the expertise of the people in those communities, or combined with the need of the new people in those communities, you can really make a great contribution. Some of mine personally, let's get into a little of what I do, what I spend my time doing on Reddit. The number one thing that I visit when I go to Reddit is my 3D modeling communities. There's a piece of software that I love using to 3D model, and it's very complex. So I'll drop into Reddit often and see what advice people are giving and best practices. I'll also answer questions. I'll say, oh, I know the answer to that question. I'm going to help this person out. In fact, a couple of times I've connected personally with people for helping me or for me helping them. I've had people PayPal me some money because they appreciated my help. I didn't ask, and it wasn't necessary, but it was a let me buy you a beer kind of thing, and here's $10. Yeah.
What you're describing is what MacNexus started out as being, a user group.
Yeah, a user group. Exactly. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because that's some good context. Yeah, it's a user group. Reddit is a user group, but it is split into communities that are verticals of your particular passion, whatever that is. Mine being 3D modeling at the moment. I also like some of the electronic gadgets. I am into a couple of things that are kind of obscure. VR, I'm into VR. So I go, before I spend $25 on a VR game for my son, I will go to the VR subreddit and say, what are the opinions of this game? And I'll get honest people answering and saying, it was only great for about the first half hour. And then it took. You can do that with movies, books, gardening products, car restoration products. It's really just been an incredible community. I recently bought something that I don't know a lot about, and so I wanted to read up on it. And I'll tell you, Google is tough. Google is tough because Google's a great big place, and when you Google something, you get everything. You get, I just bought this thing. I don't know a lot about it. I'm a bit of an enthusiast, so I punched that thing into Google to try to find my way around learning more about it. And I don't know, Google returns 4 million results. Paid for results are at the top. So I'm kind of lost. I'm like, well, how do I learn more about this thing? Google wasn't helpful. I think I clicked 7 links and then quit. I'm like, well, these 7 links I just quit, 2 of them were advertisements. 3 of them were old useless stories that don't apply anymore. It's just, Google can be tough. So Reddit emerges as a place for people interested in these topics can go and have this vertical community. So without further ado, that's the background for Reddit. That's why I think you should be using it. Now I'm going to go to reddit.com. I'm currently logged in. You see Pete Losey up here. I'm logged in as me. And there's this new thing they're doing called Reddit coins. Reddit coins are just fake internet points. You ever see the TV show You Can't Do That on Television? I don't know if you guys remember that, with Ryan Stiles and Drew Carey. And Drew Carey would score the matches, and he'd say, you get 1,000 points and you get 10,000 points, but the points never meant anything. It's kind of like what Reddit Gold is. When I see a comment that I think is a valuable contribution to the community, I can award that comment with gold. I can give that person an award. They've expanded it now where it's not just gold. You can give silver or platinum or a high five. I mean, there's many different ways you can call out somebody's comment and bring some attention to it. Also shows them on their end that you've given some appreciation to them. And when you when you give coins to somebody, they gain those coins so they can reuse them. So it's kind of like paying it forward. I've given coins to a couple of comments I thought were great comments, and the person always says, "Oh, that wasn't necessary, but thank you so much." And then it's just a good feeling to give somebody a virtual high five with some gold. So here I am at reddit.com here. And wait, which way? Oh yeah, right up here. Here I am at reddit.com. And just it's a web page like any other, really. As far as the interface is concerned, you've got the Reddit logo in the upper left-hand corner, which, by the way, if you click the Reddit logo, it takes you back to the home page. So if you find yourself kind of lost and dug down deep into these communities and stuff, and you just want to get back to the start, you can. Next is a pull-down menu, and I happen to be home right now. You can see it says home. What home is just a feed, which is an aggregate of all the communities you've decided to join. So I'm the member of about 150 communities, I think. And when I open Reddit, the latest things that were posted in those communities are displayed to me. So the latest things. So here we are on the front page of Reddit. Let me take a look in this feed and see what is being presented to me exactly. So the first post we see here is from a subreddit called Cringetopia. More about that in a second. This is the first post here. So I can scroll down and I can view additional posts.
Can you throw yourself to the other side, Pete?
Oh yeah, sorry. And I'll shrink myself too. So that post is the first post, but right above it, you've got this bar here. And this bar allows you to sort of filter your posts. You could just leave it unfiltered and it's just going to give you the best of whatever communities you happen to be in. But you can also change the view here. This exists both on the website and in the app, the mobile app. I can go with card, which is what I have now, which is sort of a big post of each thing. I can go with classic, which is more of a list view. And then I can go with the third option, which is compact. This really looks like an old message board when you go in compact mode, doesn't it? It looks like the old Usenet message boards and stuff. But you can go in any of those three ways. I think what I'll do is just use the regular card view for the moment. I'll enlarge that again so it's a little bigger for you. Now, in addition to those three options, you can also choose to sort by the best. You can sort by what's hot. You can sort by what's new, or you can sort by the top. And there's also one more called rising. So if I change this and I say hot, it's going to show me those things that are hot now in the Reddit community. So I just changed it to hot. I could do new. These are the things that are most recently posted in the Reddit community. Hot and best. So these are different ways to sort your view. Now I'm going to scroll down in my view, and we just said this one is called Cringetopia. This is one of the communities I'm part of. For me, this is a humor community. I do come to Reddit for a laugh. And Cringetopia is just cringy topics. It's like you face palm after you read it, like, oh my gosh, this is silly. So I became a member of Cringetopia so I could get a laugh. It's just some comic relief for me. Then if we scroll down to the next post, I'm a member of the science subreddit as well. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to hover over Cringetopia. This particular community has 864,000 members. And currently, there are close to 20,000 logged in and viewing Reddit at the moment. So let that sink in for a minute. Just on my comedy, just on one that I picked for comic relief, there's almost 1 million members and 20,000 of them are online right now in Reddit and would potentially see a post that I make in the Cringetopia subreddit or community. So there's that. And then here's the second post, which is in R Science. This has 24.6 million members, 14.8 thousand of which are online at the moment. That's a weird ratio. 24.6 million members and only 14.8 thousand online. This has 864,000, 18.3K online. That's interesting. Maybe all the science folks are in bed early, like they should be. Here's another comic relief subreddit for me called Blurst Images. Blurst is a combination between blessed and cursed. So just another funny, funny community that I've joined. This one's called Absolute Unit. There's 89,000 members, 43 of them currently online, but this is for enthusiasts of large pets. If you like large pets, then you join Absolute Unit. Scrolling down a little bit further, this is something that's shown by Reddit right here. This is the top broadcast right now with 8,500 people watching. This is not related to my feed. So I don't know anything about this account or what we're watching, but this is just Reddit showing you that there's currently a live broadcast with about 7,300 people watching. This is interesting. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to click the expand button just to see. This guy's talking all about cactuses or cacti. So 8,500 people are watching. Must be cool. Now, here's another thing in my feed that I want to show you, and it says promoted. These are ads. I scroll right by them. Anytime I see promoted, I just scroll right by because it's just an ad. Now, here's another subreddit called Forbidden Snacks, and then another one called Technically the Truth. Technically the Truth, you can see, is more comic relief. Here's somebody who says, I fell off a 50-foot ladder today. Oh my God, are you okay? Yeah, luckily I was on the first step. So a little comic relief is helpful. Let's see, how many are in Technically the Truth? 1.1 million and 4,000 of them are online. Now, I want you to also note right here, this little cluster, this little instrument cluster here. This is how many people have what they call upvoted this post. An upvote is your way of saying this is worth a look, right? So you give it an upvote. You would give anything an upvote that's worth a look, that you felt was worth a look. Botched surgeries is another one of the ones I like to see sometimes, just to see what's going on there. We'll skip that one. Here's a Wisecam subreddit for those of you who are Wisecam owners. There's some really cool clips of stuff. This one's not cool, but caught somebody breaking into their car. And you'll see here that this particular post was upvoted by 17 people. 17 people have upvoted that. This one is 2.6 thousand people upvoted this. This is another subreddit I'm part of called I Need It. It's all geek gadgets and cool things that I'd say that shower falls into an I Need It category, but 2,600 people gave this a nod. They said, yeah, it's worth looking at. So we're getting to the end here, kind of enough about, oh, here's another one called Win Stupid Prizes. This is a great subreddit to be a part of because you're treated to videos like this. But this is a weird one called Bread Stapled to Trees. Enough about my communities. So I'm scrolling through here and we're looking at these communities. Star Wars memes and wholesome gifts. But let's talk about you. This is my feed. Let's talk about where you might go find some communities that you want to be a part of. That's where the search box up top comes in. So what I'll do is I'll search for something like model trains. So when I search for model trains, I got taken to this indexed page, which is going to show me search results that are relevant to the term model train. So here I see there is a community called Model Trains, has 36.7 thousand members. I can easily just click on it by clicking here. There's one called Train Porn, one called Trains, just Trains. So if I click on this community, I can enter the community. You can see that communities have their own decorative banner across the top. So that's how I know I'm in a community. I could click the join button here to be part of this community. And then what would happen is every time I opened Reddit, posts from this community would show in my feed because I've joined it. And then if I look through the community here, I see lots of cool pictures and videos that people have posted related to the topic. Some very cool images here that you could right click and say save image if you wanted to. Just some great stuff. So if I wanted to join it, I would just click the join button. But let's go back to the search results. You can see I can view more here. Look at all these different subreddits, model makers, 168,000 members. So lots of interesting things there. And then if you scroll beyond what communities, let's see, you've got posts. So we did a search for model train, then you've got recent posts that have model train in them. This one's from a subreddit called Interesting as F. This one's called Next Effing Level. I don't know why those two are there like at the top, but there are, you know, Reddit is not a place for those who are maybe easily offended, I should say, because it's moderated, but for adults. So that doesn't mean there's going to be porn everywhere, but there's also a lot of communities that have the word F in them. So something to think about. And then you could search for users too. So not only do I see communities here, but there are users that you could search for as well. So if you were to search for Pete Losey, I would pop up under users. Now I'm going to click this icon to go back to the home page here and talk a little bit about these icons here at the top. This popular is a great one to get a pulse for what's going on in the world. I mean, you could turn on your favorite cable news network and watch that. But what I'll do is I'll just go here to popular and it'll show me different things that are currently popular, whether or not I'm even part of the community. So for instance, you know, some of these, like, I'm not part of the community, but it's showing here because I did popular. And then there's also different ways that you can view. This pull down menu here also shows all the communities that I'm a part of. So you see it says my communities. If I wanted to jump really fast to one of my communities because I want to check in, I'll just go down to this one, which I've starred because it's one of my favorites. But now I can jump right to this community. And this is where I would look through and, hey, I'm going to give this guy an upvote because he made a cool 3D character. I like this is a pretty cool render, so I'm going to upvote that. This guy is being a little flip, so I'm going to downvote that. So each time I upvote and downvote something, I am affecting my karma. Remember earlier we talked about karma. If I just go through and downvote everything, my karma will go down because my reputation isn't becoming of somebody who's a productive member of the community if I'm just downvoting everything. Wow, that was really cool. I'll upvote that. So my recommendation is to get Reddit and find a community that you're interested in. And I mean actively interested in. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you a beginner? Are you a Mac user? Right? Maybe you're a beginner and you want to find some tips and tricks. So I just searched for Mac user in the search. Here's one for Mac OS. Now, if I had a question here in this Mac OS community, which I think I'll join, I'm surprised I'm not already a part of it. I could ask somebody a question by making my own post, right? If I click on create post, let me just go back because I did that kind of fast. But here I am in the Mac OS community. I've joined it. You can see here I've joined 100,000 others, and there's 411 currently online. I can go through and see what posts are currently here, or I can hop in here and make my own. I might have a question like, how do I turn off? Oh, here we go. How do I turn off? So I could ask a question like this, hit save, post, and then everybody in this Mac OS community would see it and hopefully answer the question.
That's a Mac OS community, not iOS, right? Oop.
Because it was just an example, but yeah. Uh-oh.
I
I'll scroll.
have a couple questions for you.
Okay. One more thing I was going to say. Oh, I can wait till after. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that I wanted to show. Sorry, scroll through that. I wanted to show you an example. But why don't you pull up a question while I pull up an example of a conversation that I was in that was
So
threaded
Don
and useful.
said he just tried to create an account and wanted his email or log in with Apple. Which should I use? So the login with Apple is the way to go because it can make an anonymous email for you, but you can use your regular email account if you want. But log in with Apple, do some research on that. It's great to use. Cheryl asks, is there a list in Reddit for all the communities available? Well, that would be a really big list.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is a list posted somewhere. Let's see. We could probably. I'm gonna go to Google and type subreddit because communities are called subreddits. So I'm gonna do subreddit list, tracking the top 5,000 subreddits, all subreddits. Here we go. There it is. I'm gonna post this link right in the chat for Zoom.
Okay. And another one is, so how does Reddit place ads?
Sure. Actually, advertisers place ads with Reddit. So just like that ad we saw in my feed, that company chose to pay Reddit to be placed there. So that's how ad revenue is generated in Reddit.
Hey,
And you'll see here that the ads aren't that intrusive either. If I go back to Reddit, you'll see that sometimes you'll see like over here, you see an advertisement here for a mattress or something. So it's not bad. It's actually not too bad. All right. Any other questions?
Ask away if you have questions on Reddit.
Well, we'll pause again, but I'm
the thing
gonna.
is, once you dig in a little bit too, you'll find other communities that are kind of related to the ones that you're in and you might like better. And it's just more, it's curating your own list.
Exactly. Yeah. When you become a member of a Reddit community, it will recommend other communities that are similar. Here's an example of a community I joined. It's called Synology. Synology is the manufacturer of network hard drive. So I have a Synology hard drive in my house and I use it to store things on sometimes. Well, I'm new to that technology. So about 2 months ago, I went to the Synology subreddit. I joined the community along with 54,000 other members. And I just said, hey, I set up my Synology about a month ago. I'm impressed with the OS stability. I moved some files here and there, and that's it. I know there's a whole world of things that you're doing with your NAS, but I'm not aware of what they are. Does anybody have any suggestions? Basically, like what should a new user get into early on? Now, I posted this in a subreddit a couple months ago, but I just wanted to give you an example of how the community responded. Here's a user named ChokeTube telling me all these cool things about what I can do with my new Synology NAS drive. And this person even gave me links. This person commented on their comment. Here's Mechalat commenting on ChokeTube saying, this is cool. Would you share your link? And then here's me saying, hey, thank you. I searched, mine doesn't support. I found out, because then here's this person asking me again, what model do you have? I put my model in there and I found out that Docker isn't supported. And that's one of the things I was excited about. I would have gone crazy on Google trying to find answers to these questions if I was just trying to Google it. But these people, and you can see how long this thread goes, these people hopped on. Look
Sharing
at
it.
this guy.
You're
Look
not
at this
sharing.
guy.
We can't see your shit.
Thank you, Mark. Here we go. Look at this guy. So here's the question I asked here. Here's somebody responding. You know, ChokeTube responded. This person responded. I'm in this conversation. You see the thread just continues. They're asking me, well, what model do you have? And does it support this or do that? And you see it just keeps going. You see how long this thread is of people, you know, giving me links and giving me cool things to do with this. This could, you know, look at this answer from this person. This person just spent some time giving me lots of good information about what they do with theirs.
Did you serve up iTunes on it for you?
Media you can serve up. Yeah, iTunes is weird now with Apple Music locking it out and stuff. Somebody here says Minecraft server. So here I was, a complete newbie to Synology NAS drives, and I got on this community, and just this one question I asked inspired so many different things that I could do with it. I was super appreciative of this community, you know, jumping in here and helping me out.
Couple of questions for you again. Is buying on Reddit safe? Is it like Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, so I would say buying on Reddit is probably needs the same very stringent common sense that, yeah, like any others, because you know, there's unsavory characters anywhere. So
Maybe more than even Facebook Marketplace, because people can be anonymous. And
yep, here's another example. I have a little lawn in my new place, and I've become obsessive about my lawn. It's just a little patch of lawn, but I really like to keep it looking good. Well, I don't know anything about gardening and lawns and stuff, so I got to the lawn care subreddit here, as you can see, and I posted this. Lawn spots just appeared and keep getting worse. I live in Northern California, you know, gave some info. I gave a photo, so click on the photo here, and gave a photo of my lawn spots. And so sure enough, this community jumped in, and here they are helping me out. Look, this person gave me a nice long list of things to do. And, you know, what I love about this as opposed to Google, let's say, is if I Google something, who knows what I'm going to get. But this person looked at my picture that I posted, told me how to check for web worms and how to, you know, how to do all this stuff. I thank them, obviously. And, you know, this person's talking about salt burns or fertilizer. So just fixing.
couple more questions when you get a chance.
Yep. So just fixing my lawn, I was able to just jump on here and get answers pretty much right away for fixing my lawn. So with that, yeah, let me pause and see what kind of questions we have. Oh, look at this subreddit. I want it so bad. And then what is it? A Millennium Falcon waffle maker.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, I may just have to order one of those. Okay.
Is Reddit easy to quit if you don't like it eventually?
Yeah, Reddit is easy to just delete your account. You can just delete it. Yep.
Yeah, or not even check it.
Yeah, just let it go away.
I think Reddit can send notifications via email or text for topics or posts you want to track. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can be notified. Yeah, there's choices that you can go in your settings and say, I want to be notified of new posts in this subreddit, or I want to get a push notification for new posts in this subreddit type of thing. So
Which
yeah, you
really go crazy if you're on a lot of subreddits.
yeah, and that happens to me a little bit. Sometimes is that I will be you know, interrupted throughout the day, like this just got posted in this subreddit or whatever. But I've seen some really cool things by those as well. You know, so I don't know.
Does a search bring up previous posts or only responses to your post?
A search brings up any post with those keywords in it.
Can you also just look under your post for responses?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So here, let me share again because this would allow you to, like, if here I am on my my Reddit page here, you know, I'm logged into my account. If I just go in the upper left hand corner here, if I go there and go to my profile, it's going to show me everything I've posted It's going to show me every comment I've made. It's going to show me every comment that was made on one of my posts. Like here's a subreddit called iBleach, and iBleach is just cute stuff. So this is a picture of me building out my office with the dog guarding me. So I posted that there in iBleach. You know, it's just different things. Here's another picture I posted in AWW or awe. That's all posters of or posts of cute animals and whatnot. You can cross post too. So you see this is cross posting. I posted this not only in the awe community, but I also posted it in Chihuahua. So just different ways you can have some fun with that kind of thing. And then lots of different posts that I've made. This was another amazing one. Just one more thing, and then we're going to move on to questions and then Twitter. I made this in a 3D modeling program with my son. He's really into Thomas the Train, and we made this together. But I couldn't sculpt the face. It was just too difficult for me. But this guy here down in the sub, you know, because what I did was I posted it and said, anyone want to sculpt a face for me? I was just kidding. I was kind of just wanting to show off the creation we made. But then this guy down here said, here you go. And this guy actually took the time. This is an hour and 39-minute YouTube video that this guy made strictly for me to show me how to sculpt a face. He even shows my Reddit post here on YouTube. He says, look, this is what people told him, but we can do it. And it's an hour and a half on him sculpting a Thomas the Train face. That, to me, that blew me away. I sent the guy $100. I sent him $100 because he spent an hour and a half teaching me how to sculpt something. And this is just another example of how people on Reddit are always willing to give to their communities, as well as people need help and they rely on your expertise. So back to questions though, if anybody's got anything.
So Charles has a question. Where can I get a manual or how to do it information for my use on Reddit?
Yep. No, manuals are a thing of the past. There's no manuals anymore. However, menu-driven interfaces are a thing of the present. And menu-driven interfaces can be overwhelming, but here's some advice for you. When you get to Reddit, make an account and then just go choose some communities. All you got to do is search for them. So whatever you're into, maybe you're into lobster. So I'm going to search lobster here and just find a community that matches your interest and then just click join. And then you can read there. You'll always see buttons in these communities. Like when I go to this community, there's a create post button right at the top. I could post a photo or a link. So it just takes you a minute to sort of click around and add yourself to a community and maybe create a post, or maybe start by commenting on somebody else's post. If it's a community of something that you're an expert in, like just make a comment. Say, well, I've had experience with this, and in my experience, this works better.
And if you find out that you've got too many, don't be afraid to leave a certain subreddit too, because if it's just not doing what you want, sometimes it's filling up, the signal to noise ratio is bad, and it's filling up your feed so you're not seeing other stuff. Cheryl wants to know, how do you send money on Reddit?
Sure. Yeah. For this one, I just wanted to show you, if you want to leave, like I joined betting. My wife and I were shopping for sheets, and we wanted to find out some things about what's the difference between bamboo and down comforters versus others. So we went here, asked some questions. Amazing. Got great answers from people who knew a lot about the topic, but now I don't really need it anymore. We went and bought our bedding and we're happy with it. So I can leave this subreddit now, I think. Just click leave and it says you've successfully left. If I wanted to join a community, I just click join. It says you've successfully joined. You don't get friend requests. You don't get lists. People don't get notified what you're doing. It's a community. It is not like social media. Now, sending people money, you can go, once you have an account, you can go buy coins. So it's right under my account here. I can go to Reddit coins. I currently have, I don't know, 1,200 Reddit coins, but you can purchase more. I think I spent $10 and I bought 3,300. Got some bonus or something, but you can purchase them. And then here's the menu: 1,800 coins for $5.99. You could, I don't know, spend 99 cents and just get a few, or $1.99 and get 500. But it's a nice way. Oh, go ahead.
Are those redeemable for cash?
No, it all stays inside
So
Reddit.
community. Well, how'd you send the guy $100? Was
I'll
the
show
phone
you. So if there's a post here, maybe there's a post like, let's see, and I really like this post, this donut post. I can just go to give award, right? Right here in the post, I say, man, I really like this. I'm going to give this person an award. And then here are the different awards. I currently have 1,250 points that I can spend. I can give him a 500 gold, but there's lots of others too. I can do like a handshake for 500, high five, a little present symbol. You can see all the values here. They're all worth different values. And it's just a matter of how you want to express yourself. So I might do a heart for 250, but you've got to buy the credits though. You can make your gift anonymous, because remember, when you bestow gold upon somebody, like if I were to give them a gold award, they're going to get 100 coins because I awarded them. Or if I give them this one, they don't get an award. But if I give them 500 gold, if I give them this one, they get 700 coins. So it's a way to give the person who helped you out a little bit of Reddit currency so they can pay it forward.
But when you said you paid the guy $100, you didn't mean bucks. You meant
The guy who made that video for me, I did send him $100 on PayPal.
right.
I asked him for his PayPal and I said, let me buy you and your wife dinner. That was an hour and a half you spent helping me out, and we still talk. I mean, he's a great guy and we help each other out. So that was a real money transaction.
Okay, good. And that's just on a normal online thing. Mary asks, so if you join a subreddit, do they get your full name? It's whatever you're logged into, whether it be your anonymous one or the other.
Yeah, the only thing a person sees when you join a member or when you join a community is your member name. Sorry, hope I survive this. The only thing they see is your member name.
You would have to get personal info from someone to send money, right? Yeah, I mean, basically like PayPal, you just get their email address. But at that point, you're having an interaction. So so how do you do like a direct message to the person?
Sure. Yeah. Good question. Yeah, you can direct message and then ask for more information. Like, so if we go to this post, gosh, excuse me. If we go to this post, we can see the person who posted it, posted by user Harmon1796. I can start a chat with them.
And that's
so I could just,
person.
Yeah, that's just person to person. It's private between me and that person here. And it's just the same as sort of emailing them. You're just sending them a quick message. And
great.
This was the guy. This was my interaction with.
It's going to be a little bit condensed.
What's that?
I think your Twitter time is going to be a little bit condensed.
Yeah, because it's very similar. Twitter's going to be a higher level overview, but yeah.
Do you ever give out your email address or your phone number on Reddit?
In a private message, I have. Yeah, I've once I find a friendly or somebody who's given me no reason not to distrust them. I mean, we're having a good interaction, and and then I'll say, yeah, well, email me or here, give me a text, and we'll talk about it that way. But yeah, it's a great way to meet people who are interested in the same things as you.
It is truly a community.
Yeah. I hope, and I thought it was really timely right now because we're home a lot, or tend to be home a lot more than we used to be. Not out and about as much, especially with the lockdown here in California. So why not get into a community and explore and learn something new? Maybe learn how to grow jalapeno peppers, or learn a language or a coding language, or maybe you just want to learn how to use iOS better. Reddit's a great way to do that.
And realistically, if you haven't been on not a social media, but on an online community, you get to, it's like any other community. You get to know the other people. You're worried about someone if they haven't been on for a while, and just there's this interaction, and it truly can become a community. Don't think that it's all like Twitter or all like Facebook.
Good point. I cannot stand Facebook. Look, I'm not mad at other people for having Facebook. My wife loves Facebook. I just cannot stand it. It's just too nosy. But what I love about Reddit is nobody knows when you go on Reddit. When you go on Facebook, people can see you're on Facebook. Nobody knows when you're on Reddit. Nobody can, you don't get a bunch of friend requests on Reddit. You don't got to keep up with somebody you knew in high school, whatever it is. Reddit's just a place for you to focus on the topic at hand.
Again,
And then here on Twitter, yeah, go ahead.
like a bunch of different types of user groups. And I think if you approach it that way, the give and the take is what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And now Twitter, what I want to say about Twitter is that there is no more real-time place for information than Twitter. It just doesn't exist. Twitter is the place that things pop up first. There's a reason for that. When you go to search the internet for something, where do you go? It's a rhetorical question because I already know the answer, except for very few of you. You go to Google, right? You go to google.com and then you punch in your search term and you're able to hopefully find what you're looking for, but it's really hard on Google to find what you're looking for, especially if you're trying to be specific or you have a specific question about a specific model or something. But here's the thing. Google is a search engine. That's all it is. Google's not the internet, even though they're like the gateway to it. Google's not the internet. It's just a search engine. But the problem with breaking news is that the search engine needs time to index breaking news. So let's use it for instance. Let's use ABC News has a breaking headline. Something very serious has
The
happened.
earthquake that just happened in Alaska.
The earthquake that just happened in Alaska is a perfect example. Or an earthquake that you think might have happened in your very hometown.
Right.
ABC News may make an article about it and post that on their website, right? This is what news outlets do. ABC News makes an article. The article is embedded into a web page, and then that web page is on their website. So if you went to ABC News, you may see an article about it on their website, or you may not. It may not have been picked up yet. If you Google the Alaska earthquake as it's happening, if you Google it now, you'll find lots of stuff, but as it's happening, or if you feel like there might be an earthquake in your neighborhood as it's happening, Twitter is the place where people's remarks, links, and information pops up immediately. So if you go to Google and you say, is there an earthquake right now? Google's going to have no idea because Google's indexing robots that go around looking for stuff to index have not yet found that web page that ABC just posted about the earthquake. So for breaking news or things that are serious or happening right now, like the Boston Marathon bombing, my family lives in Boston and many of my family members went to that event. Now I started hearing people talk about, oh, something happened in Boston, there's a bombing. I'm Googling it and nothing's coming up. But when I went on Twitter, people are posting from the ground. They're right there with their cameras, posting on Twitter from the incident itself. This is unprecedented in our world. There was no way before Twitter to instantly share something and tag it. That's important too, and tag it. You couldn't instantly share something and tag it while it's happening. So earlier I said it sort of leveled the playing field in politics. No longer does mainstream media control the whole narrative. They control most of it, but people can use a platform like Twitter to get their message out. So Twitter for breaking news, because that's where you'll find it. One time there was an earthquake in Vacaville at about 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up from it, but I had no idea there was an earthquake. I suspected there was one. The water in the pool was rocking back and forth. So I Googled it, earthquake in Vacaville. I got nothing. I went on Twitter and put earthquake in Vacaville in the search, and many people just like me were posting in real time saying, did everybody just feel that? I'm in Vacaville. I just felt something. It was definitely an earthquake. I was awake. And then ABC News post on Twitter. Here's a link to the latest article about the earthquake. Twitter is where breaking things happen. Not Google, not the internet, not ABC News, but Twitter. And all the mainstream media news outlets know that too. So now they all post to Twitter first. So if there's breaking news, you're going to find it on Twitter. And if you look on this right side of my screen here, this what's happening, this is what's trending on Twitter worldwide. This is what's trending on Twitter. So if you're ever wondering what the narrative or conversation is outside your four walls, there is no better place to look than Twitter. You may not agree with what's trending. Like, why do I care what Kanye West is doing really over here? Kanye West is trending on Twitter. But there are some other things trending that are important. So this is, what's happening, or in other words, when we come to Twitter, if we go to explore, right? If you go to twitter.com and then you go to explore, this is the trending tab. These are the things that are being talked about right now in the globe. So Snoop Dogg, for some reason, he's in the news. I guess he's having a battle with DMX, but Trump's America is trending on Twitter right now. Trending with Biden's America. So I guess there's some arguing going on there. J. Cole is trending. Maybe he released a new song. And many other things you can see that are trending right now. Hockey, it's got a trend there. And you can click on any of these trends if they interest you, right? You can say, well, I'm curious to see more about this. And then it's going to show why the phrase Trump's America is trending.
It should be pointed out that there's, for news, and I mean events that are happening, but Twitter is, like other places, starting to do some blocking, and they're starting to censor. They're starting to censor conservative things. So don't believe everything that's there. And there's some alternatives to Twitter now, one called Parler. But for news, yes. But remember that there are people that are out there curating this that have other. They're looking at it from a different angle than you might.
Well, and Ken, that point is worth noting. Like a little, I'll even go a little further. These organizations like Twitter, Facebook,
Google.
Reddit, Google, they're very left-leaning organizations. My sister Michelle is a director at Reddit, and her and I couldn't be more opposite ends of the spectrum. But it's left-leaning. There is an agenda, no matter what side you're on. There is an agenda to uplift some voices and silence others. And you don't have to look very far to find it. And I think it's a shame. I wish these platforms were agnostic when it came to politics, that they didn't call some hate speech and some regular speech. It's just like, if we're going to exercise the right to free speech, then let offensive things be offensive things. But unfortunately, there's a movement to push down some voices and raise up others. So that's difficult to watch sometimes, depending on which side you fall on. But having said that, I really wanted to just emphasize with Twitter that this is where you go for breaking news. If you want to know what's happening right now in the world, go to Twitter and then go to Explore and Trending. Or you can just search Twitter. I'll just put the word Vacaville in here. And here's what I love about this. If I put in the word Vacaville and I click on latest, 2 minutes ago, somebody just tweeted with the word Vacaville in it. Here's another one. 17 minutes ago, somebody tweeted with Vacaville in it. Here's another one. So if there was a problem in Vacaville, like, for instance, I've been driving home and seen a large group of police cars and EMT vehicles. I'll go to Twitter, put in Vacaville, and usually the first thing is, problem happened at, Walmart, and here's what happened or whatever. So just emphasizing that Twitter is your go-to for breaking news. Get in that explore section. You don't even have to post anything. I don't even think you have to have an account. You don't have to participate in Twitter. You can just use it to consume information. And with that, I will pause. We should take some questions, or however you want to do it. Mr. MC, I know we're tight on time. Sorry, I could have used 4 hours.
So I've just posted on the alternative to this that they are guaranteeing they will not censor anyone, either right, left, in middle, whatever it is. They're rising up against Twitter. Again, Twitter for news, fantastic. Just realize that if it's political, it's getting shaded in a left-leaning direction. And Parler is come up, not good for news, but it's good for political stuff. They will not censor anyone. So that I put that link in there. So I don't see any other questions. Feel free to raise your hand in the participant screen, and we'll call on you. And if you can put it in the chat. By the way, on the chat, there were a couple links. Pete put the Reddit list in there, and then the Amazon link for the cable and all that. If you go to your chat list, and at the lower right corner, you can save that chat, and those links will be clickable. So
how about some homework or something, Ken? Like, is there a way to tell everybody, hey, once you get in Reddit, tell us what communities you've joined? Do we have like a message board we could use, or?
Oh, we kind of only, unfortunately, have the Facebook message board because the
Yeah,
forum is longer, but we don't have a lot of people participating in that. But maybe that's what we can make a little spot in the next meeting as to if they found some Reddits and if they're on Twitter, because, it is kind of building that community, and we're a community. So
why don't we make a
MacNexus subreddit?
Yeah, let's make a MacNexus subreddit, and then we can all join that subreddit and be part of the.
Setting that up just under MacNexus?
I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll just look. I don't think there'll be any other MacNexus. So Mary has a question. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I had a power outage during the middle of your presentation, so I want to go back and read it.
You want us to go over the whole thing again? Is that it?
No, please.
No
I'll
problem.
go back and watch it. But will the chat stuff show up when we go back?
Well, no, on the chat stuff, if you save the chat to your computer, you should have the entire chat.
Except for the part before the power outage is gone.
Oh yeah, when you come back into Zoom,
Okay, it was just a question, and I know.
Yeah, I can. If you send me an email, I'll.
Yeah, somebody save that, and then we'd send it to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Question.
Go right ahead.
Yes, I was a member of Twitter, but I've been inactive for a couple years. Do I need to re-sign up, or am I still current?
I answered online for you. Basically, if you still know your username or email, and hopefully your password, if not, you can reset your password. So those accounts usually, if you didn't delete the account, which usually isn't the case, you should be able to sign right back in again.
Okay, thank you.
And Richard, you've got a question?
It's James Park.
Okay.
I keep trying to sign in my new iPhone on, to set it up, and it keeps on saying could not sign in.
In what?
Into Apple.
To your Apple ID?
Yeah.
Are you connected to the internet?
Yeah.
Well, do you have the correct password?
Yeah, it doesn't say, wrong password or anything. It just says,
you may have, your account may be locked, so you may have to go to a browser and go to appleid.apple.com, and your account may be locked, so you'll have to go through the process of unlocking it. They do that if you try to log in too many times. They lock the account, and you have to jump through some hoops to get rid of that.
It's not locked. I can sign in with my other phone and my laptop.
Well, Pete, you got any ideas on that?
I'd want to see that so I could troubleshoot.
Sounds like an iCloud lock.
Yeah, but like you said, he's signed into the other devices. But see, just go to a browser, go to appleid.apple.com and see if you can sign in. And if not, it'll tell you that you're blocked.
Yeah, I've already done that.
And were you able to get in?
I can get in, yeah.
Well,
It
Are
even
you
show,
sure it's the same?
this phone
email
shows up
ID?
on my other phone as being signed in, but on the new phone, it still won't let me get any further than this.
Well, normally I'd say go to the Apple store, but that's kind of not an option. But you could call Apple, Apple support, and they should be able to help you.
Okay.
Okay, so I know what all 64 people are waiting for. So we're about ready to do the. Let's see. Go ahead, Lisa. How many members do we have tonight? You're muted, Lisa.
Sorry, we had 65 members and 5 non-members at one time.
So we're going to do a random number between 1 and 65. I'm going to share my iPhone here.
And it was 60. I'm sorry, 60 members.
60. Okay, because we have 65. So let me get my iPhone shared. And the way we're going to do this is we have 4 $25 iTunes, or I'm sorry, not iTunes, but Amazon gift cards that will be emailed to you. So if you're a winner, please stay around. I want to make sure that I get we have your correct email address. So Lisa's going to hang on and we'll have everybody do it. So there are 4 $25 Amazon gift cards and there are 2 $100 Amazon gift cards. So if you win a $25 and a $100, you've got to give up one of those. And I bet that you would give up the 25 and would go back in the drawing. So my phone is up on the screen here and I'm going to pick some random numbers and then Lisa will find them on the list. So let's see. 60 is our top number, correct?
Correct.
Give me a random number between 1 and 60.
It's 11.
So who is 11?
11 is Clarice Goodall.
Okay, Clarice, go ahead. We got to hang on. I do have her email address. Give me a random number between 1 and 60.
The answer is
22 for the other $25 gift card. And I will point out that I've tested this. It is inclusive. So if your number is 60, it will come up to 60.
22 is Janet McKay.
Janet McKay. Okay, Janet, if you, we want to make sure, so hang on, we want to make sure we have your email address. So 2 more 25s coming up. Give me a random number between 1 and 60.
How did you test it? You just had to keep doing it until 1 or 60 popped up?
Number 53. Pete, what I did is I just did like 1 through 3 and it came up.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
I did a little smaller data set to be sure.
Smart, yeah.
53 is James Park.
53, James Park, okay. And that's 3 of the 25s, right?
Correct.
Here's the 4th for 25. Give me a random number between 1 and 60.
It's
33.
33, Curtis Purnell.
Curtis, all right. Okay, so now for the one of the $100 gift certificates, and these will be emailed to you and you can just redeem them at Amazon for anything you want, or they'll just stay on your account. Give me a random number between 1 and 60.
The answer is
20. 20.
Jan Berry.
And the last one, give me a random number between 1 and 60.
It's
24.
Joan Whitaker.
Joan Whitaker. I have to thank Pete so much. Oh, so those, if you were drawn, please hang on at the end and I'll interact with you to make sure we have the correct email address. We'll have Lisa on too to make sure we have that. I learned a lot about Reddit and I'm going to start, I've used it very little, but I'm going to start using it a lot more. And I want to thank Lisa for putting, helping put the drawing together. It's real tough. She has to get all the names and sort them out, especially when we had 60, which was quite good. So there's
and Ken, one more thing about you being more active on Reddit. I'm about to make you a moderator for the MacNexus subreddit. So I did create a MacNexus subreddit. I put the link in the chat. So
the
please,
link is in the chat. Yeah, perfect.
Yep. So please go to the MacNexus subreddit and join that community. and we'll have some fun there. And Ken and I will be moderators of that community. So go in there and.
Fantastic. We'll make sure Al knows because he posts a lot too. So that's
And
great, you guys. The
And
record.
thanks to Mary W. also for helping with the
Oh
raffle.
yeah, thank you, Mary. So this recording will get uploaded to YouTube sometime tomorrow or late tonight. And Bob, when he does a blast out, will give you a link to that. It should be on our same MacNexus channel that the other ones have been on. I will email Mary the copy of the chat screen. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and stick around. Let's take care of the winners first to make sure that we have your correct email address. So Lisa, if we can go down by each one, I have Clarice's, so I know
Okay.
that. So who's the next one?
Janet McKay.
Oh, let me stop the recording since we're going to be giving people's email
That'd be
address.
a good idea, yeah.
Okay, I can stop my share and stop